We've been walking for hours. We've got to quicken our pace. The Lich King is defenseless without us.
I left many of my warriors at Icecrown before I came to find you, Death Knight. They will hold the line for as long as they are able.
Tell me, where are all of your people? Shouldn't there be Nerubians around here, undead or otherwise?
I've been wondering about that myself. Something must have driven them all off.
We did, you rotting bastards! We've been watching you all along!
Muradin's dwarves. Impossible. Doesn't anyone stay dead anymore?
We've been wandering this forsaken land ever since you killed Muradin and left us to rot Arthas. Our leader, Baelgun, led us into the ruined city to survive. But there's no way we're letting you in.
We have no time for these games. Saphiron, attack! Well done, mighty Saphiron. I wish we could take you with us, but the confines of the Dark Earth are no place for you.
The Lich King's time is running short. We must hurry.
Tread lightly.
For Kazmatan!
No
A pint for every ghoul you blast!
I'll make sure you suffer. Frostmourne hungers.
Wait.
What is it now? Ah, at last.
Send off the charges! Blow the bridge before they get across!
No! Stop them before they...
That was for Muradin. Now you'll never get across.
There are other passages through the labyrinth, Death Knight. We will find another way.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. What is it now? This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Faithless coward. Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Your pain shall be legendary. Gold. We should take this with us. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. What is it now? No one orders me around. Tread lightly.
I have heard the summons.
What is it now? No one. These Nerubians are your kin. Why are they hostile to us?
Many of us who fell during the War of the Spider were brought back to serve the Lich King. These warriors, however, never died. Foolishly, they still fight to liberate Naru from the Scourge.
More gold. This might help us later.
Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers.
Ah, at last. Finally. Now, Frostmourne. Tread lightly.
This is more like it.
Ah, at last.
This is more like it. Frostmourne.
This place looks like an old storage silo. It's a dead end, Nubarak.
There must be a hidden passage somewhere. We Nerubians were crafty engineers in our time.
Ah, at last.
For the Lich King.
I'll make sure you suffer.
This is an ancient Nerubian hoarding cell. We kept most of our treasures hidden in chambers like this. The passage to the lower depths lies just beyond this room.
Great. As long as we're here, we can take some of these items with us. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. I'll make sure you suffer. No one orders me more gold. Take all you can carry.
For the Lich King.
Speak, fool.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Faithless coward.
What is it now? You will know endless torment. No one orders me around. What is it now?
Your pain shall be legendary. Your pain shall be legendary. You will know endless torment. Tread lightly.
Don't even try it, you bastard! That there treasure belongs to the dwarves!
This treasure belongs to the Lich King, little creature. We, his servants, shall take what we will.
Speak, fool.
What is it now?
This is for Muradin, you bastards!
No one orders me around. This is more like it.
Now, Frostmourne. Finally. Ah, at last.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Ah, at last.
Frostmourne hungers.
Finally.
It's them! Bust them!
Speak, fool. This is more like it.
At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Tread lightly. Finally.
Damned undead! Slay 'em all!
At last. Finally. Frostmourne.
Shoot anything that shuffles or skitters!
Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Now, Frostmourne. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? At last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last.
I remember you, evil prince. You're the one that killed poor Muradin.
Get over it already.
I won't let you through this door, traitor. The recent quakes have awakened dark things under the ice. Ancient, horrid things. We vowed to keep them locked where they are.
We'll take our chances, dwarf. We're going through that door, one way or another. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? This is more like it. At last. No one orders me around. Speak, fool. Faithless coward. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. The air smells awful in here. Something doesn't feel right.
If the dwarf's story was true, there's no telling what awaits us in the darkness. This stairwell leads into the heart of the old Nerubian Empire. We must be cautious.
By all means. You first.
We have entered the Old Kingdom. Be wary, Death Knight. Whatever scared the dwarves still lurks down here somewhere.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers.
Wait. The towers on either side are rigged to fire bolts of frost. This hallway is a death trap.
Can't we disable them?
The circular hatch in the far wall is an aqueduct plug. If we can open it, the water might flood the firing mechanisms and disable the entire trap.
Gold. We should take this with us.
Frostborn hungers. At last. Finally.
Indubitably.
What is it now?
This is more like it.
Finally. I'll make sure you suffer. You will know endless torment. Your pain shall be legendary.
At last. Frostborn.
That's done it. Let's move. For the Lich King. You will know endless torment.
At last.
Look, brothers. The traitor king.
Who? Me?
He is referring to me, Death Knight. These Nerubians will stop at nothing to destroy us.
Speak, fool.
Frostborn hungers.
Thank you, Great One. The rebel spiders captured my comrades as well. They're being held in a nearby chamber. Release them, and they will be yours to command.
At last. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. Frostborn hungers. At last.
Time is fleeting.
No one orders me around.
I serve only the frozen throne. Kinky.
Speak, fool. The Guardians are activating. Defend yourselves.
I have heard the summons. Indubitably.
No one orders me around. Finally. This is more like it. Finally.
Faithless coward. I'll make sure you suffer. Now, Frostborn. For the Lich King. I'll make sure you suffer.
Frostborn hungers. At last.
My might cannot be matched.
Finally.
Death to the servants of Ner'zhul. The eggs of our young are incubated within those breeding pods. There's no telling how many vicious hatchlings they hold.
You are right. They're definitely hostile. We've got to destroy the breeding pods.
We could also seal the doors to shut the hatchlings in.
Our forces are under attack. Your pain shall be legendary. At last. Faithless coward. You will know endless torment. Finally. Our forces are under attack. At last. Inventory is full.
By Nerub. Feel the venom of Nerub.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Drive the foul undead back to the surface.
At last. You will know endless torment. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. Finally. At last. Our forces are under attack. This is more like it. Faithless coward. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. Tread lightly. For the Lich King. Speak, fool. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally.
Slay the intruders. I'll see to it.
No one orders me around.
Your choice.
Tread lightly. Speak, fool.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
I'll make sure you suffer.
At last. Finally. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. What the hell are they?
They are the horrors the dwarves spoke of. illusions.
What?
They are the faceless ones.
I'll make sure you suffer. Ah, at last.
Finally. Faithless coward.
I'll consume the living and the dead.
At last.
You will know endless torment. For the Lich King. Now, Frostborn.
What is it now?
For the Lich King. Frostborn hungers. Faithless coward.
I wait. Make your choice.
Tread lightly. Finally. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
It cannot be. Forgotten one. Look to your defenses, Death Knight. Fight as you've never fought before.
I'll make sure you suffer.
Finally.
You will know endless torment.
This is more like it.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Frostborn hungers. For the Lich King. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
I'll make sure you suffer.
Frostborn hungers. Finally. Frostborn hungers.
We cannot take them all. Hurry, Death Knight. Up the stairwell. Hurry.
We're running out of time, Anubarak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far. We have entered the Upper Kingdom. The exit should lead us to the base of the glacier itself. However, there are still hidden traps and pitfalls to account for.
Take cover!
Arthas!
The entire passage collapsed. There's no time to dig through this. I'll have to move quickly and find my own way out. Hopefully Anubarak and the others survived. This is more like it.
Your pain shall be legendary. Inventory is full.
Ah, at last. I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames. Frostborn hungers. I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. More of the Nerubians' blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Another quake? Tread lightly. Finally. At last. Now, Frostborn. Speak, fool. No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. At last. This is more like it. You will know endless torment. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Faithless coward. You will know endless torment. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. For the Lich King. Faithless coward. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers. Your pain shall be legendary. I'll make sure you suffer. Faithless coward. At last. Finally. No one orders me around. This is more like it. This is more like it. Frostmourne
Inventory
hungers.
is full.
Finally. I must find a way across this strange obstacle. Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King. This is more like it. Finally. At last. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Anubarak, you made it.
I see now why the Lich King chose you as his champion, Death Knight. Few men could have survived this labyrinth alone.
Tread lightly. Ah, at last.
Another earthquake. We must hurry, Death Knight.
Something's breaking through.
Defensive positions!
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. This is more like it.
Indubitably.
Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King. Ah, at last. Frostmourne.
We're running out of time. We must find the exit. They're blocking the way to the exit. We'll have to fight our way through them to reach it.
This is more like it. Speak, fool. Faithless coward. Ah, at last.
I'll see to it. Kinky.
Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers.
Now quickly, head through that door. The exit to the surface lies just beyond.
It'll be good to see the sun again.
Remember, Illidan and the true battle still await us in the world above. Hopefully our trek through the Dark Earth bought us the precious time we needed.